Hi everyone. Welcome back to another episode of On the Boundary. And Kochar, let's talk about our whole campaign. Um, we had a tri-series against Pakistan and New Zealand. We were horrible there. To our own excuse, we said no, we didn't have all our players because some of the players were still busy with the SA20. Some people raised concerns, and then we headed into the tournament. We couldn't defend 352 against New Zealand. What are your thoughts, Coachy? How would you sum up the whole campaign except for the final? We're going to talk about the final at the end.
The semi-final, because for us it was the semi-final. But
yes, sort of the semi-final. Yeah.
I feel it was very underwhelming, honestly, and I felt like we really needed to play that game against Australia, the one that got rained out. I felt that game was gonna decide a lot more than it ended up being, because if we had played that game, it would have sharpened up a few more of our players playing a, a real opposition. Yes, Australia were weakened in the going into the tournament, but I still feel they were our strongest opposition in that group that we had. So playing Australia would have really been really important for us, because I feel like, no disrespect to the other two, England's going through a weird patch at the moment. So
Yeah.
they aren't really the opposition you'd want them to be. And then once you get past the mystery spoon of Afghanistan, they usually also are a team you can handle. So I really wanted to play that Australian team, especially with our bowling being where it was, because I felt going into this tournament, the bowling was the issue. And if we had played that Australian team with attacks from quite early on, it would have sharpened us up, or we would have been knocked out in the group stages and we would have known we didn't deserve anything. So going to that semi-final against New Zealand, it felt we were slightly undercooked, and that hurt us in that at that stage. I don't think we can complain about the team. I think those were the best players we have and have had for the recent past. So I don't think we can look at that and say if we had played so and so, or if we hadn't played so and so. I think that was the best team we had, and some of them, like at least once in the tournament, showed us why they're the best guys we have. So it's just really underwhelming for South Africa and what we were looking forward to.
Yeah, no, spot on, Coachy. And I think building up to the tournament, the results were also not good. And that is telling, to be honest. As much as we got to the Champions Trophy and performed, I mean, we won two matches. Was it two or one? We won one, ne? Yeah, no, we won two matches.
We won two.
We beat a struggling team. We beat Afghanistan. Even in our worst, I expect us to beat Afghanistan, to be honest, even when we are going through a rough patch. But I think for me, like I think I did say in the last show that we had, I felt in terms of bowling options, we didn't have enough skill in the side. And when I say enough skill, I feel with the Red Bull, it's easy to just pick someone who bowls 145. It's easy to pick a Marco Jansen in Test cricket because Test cricket, if you can swing the ball and then you can hit that line in length, you're going to be dangerous most of the time. But white ball cricket requires a bit more skill, especially on flat decks. I think we saw Lungi showing why he remains a quality white ball cricket bowler. And I think we needed someone like him, another someone like him. With Ukagiso Rabada, no disrespect to KG, he's a quality bowler. But on a flat deck, I have seen him struggle more often than not with the white ball, because he isn't that kind of bowler who has a lot in his armory to use when it comes to bowling on a flat deck. Yes, he's going to get wickets sometimes on flat decks, but sometimes he's going to struggle, especially when they come after him. He does have a slower ball that he's working on, which for me is a good thing, because you don't want him to be predictable. I think Vian Mulder, I rate him. He's a quality all rounder, but as a white ball bowler, on a pitch that's not assisting fast bowlers, for me, I think he's not an option. He doesn't have um, he doesn't have the skills that we need from him in terms of bowling with the wide ball. And for me, I felt we needed a spinner or someone like Andile Pehlukwayo to complete our bowling attack. But now we already had two guys, Marco Janssen, quality bowler, but I reckon he struggles when it comes to tournaments. He just goes MIA. And then you've got Vian Mulder. And on a flat deck, you don't just want to keep things quiet from one end. Even when you're doing that, you still want to get 1 or 2 wickets while doing that. Because we saw in New Zealand, they ended up having enough wickets to actually come hard at us in the middle overs and towards the later part of the inning. So I felt, but we're going to talk about that. But I felt throughout the tournament, for me, I don't know, maybe would have gambled with Ushamsi. I know he is inconsistent sometimes, but I probably would have gambled with him. I felt we needed pace off more than we needed pace on. And the reason for me is neither UKG nor Omako Janssen can bowl the same pace as Oana consistently. If one of them could actually run in and bowl 150 plus in six balls, then I wouldn't have had a problem with that. Because I feel when it comes to white ball cricket, on flat decks, you either bowl 150 plus or you bowl slower and slower. But now I feel KG and Umako, they're in between that. So for me, they'll be very dangerous on with the red ball, but with the white ball on a flat deck, I'd rather have two lungis in my side than have UKG and Umako. Um, but yeah, I agree in terms of our batting. I think those are the best guys that are available. Those are the best guys for the team. Though I have always said I would prefer David Miller coming in at 4, and I'm going to explain that when we get to talk about the semi-final. I think it's something I've been saying since AB de Villiers retired. I thought it was going to happen eventually, but it's not happening. Yeah, I think both of us are coaches, and I don't normally like to put other coaches on the spot, but I am going to put both of us on the spot here. Rob Walter as coach, are we happy, or do we think it's time for change? I know the director of cricket has come out and supported Rob, and he said he believes Rob is the man for the job. We've got nothing against that, but based on our opinions now, do you think we should continue with Rob, or do you think we should move on?
I think for me, you know me, I don't like controversial takes and going in at people, especially. But this one, I said it tongue in cheek about 3 series ago, asking how busy Shukri is. Would he like a white ball team as well? Because of the underwhelming performances we've had. And we've been getting away with scraping through in tournaments, getting to finals, and having that as our yardstick, saying we're keeping him because he's taking us to finals, which for a Proteas team or South African team is very important. We always struggle in tournaments, so someone who can take us to final deserves the chance. So I know it's been one tournament, but the way it was underwhelming for me takes away a lot of the hard work he's done in tournaments. So I'm Don't know who should replace him now, which is why I asked Shukri is available because of the beautiful job he's doing it with the Red Bull team. But then again, do we want to mess with what's working that side and bring in Shukri to the white ball team as well? I'm not sure. But I do think we definitely need to start considering that coaching role in that white team, looking around and seeing who we can get and get in, especially with the talent we've had and have. Because I still feel that top six, no matter how you want to put it, have Miller at 4, Miller at 5, or Miller at 6, but that top six is world class and competes with anything that's going around in the world, including India. So I don't believe we can have that excuse of we're fighting above our weight and we're using whatever we have to scrape through to tournaments and to semifinals and finals. I feel like with that top six we have and the bowling. I know we lost out on Anas and a few injuries to Katia and people like that, but the bowling we have as well means we should be the team that's challenging India. I look around and Australia has a very good squad. I look around, England is struggling at the moment. New Zealand is one of the most balanced teams in the world, but they shouldn't be scaring us. The only team we should be going in as underdogs against is India at the moment. And for us to be as underwhelming as we are in bilateral series, in this last tournament, I think the questions have been raised.
Yeah, no, spot on, Coachy. I agree with you. Even for me, I think I would have had Ushukri on speed dial a long time ago. Um, it's really not about putting Rob on the spot here. And I think if we track back to a few months building up to the tournament, we haven't been getting the results. And people are gonna say, "Oh, we'd rather make semifinals than win bilateral series." But why can't we do both? I mean, okay, let's say focus on the process, but we are not winning these tournaments. So we're as good as people who are basically just going to tournaments, making semifinals, and that's it. Because had we won the tournament, then I would have said maybe there's a case for Rob. But to be honest with you, I lost faith in Rob when he failed to take responsibility and started blaming a transformation. I know this might not sit well with a lot of people, and I'm not trying to be controversial, but for me, it I take it very seriously when people start blaming transformation, even when they are not meeting the requirements. But I'm not trying to start that debate or that conversation. But my point is, you can't blame something that you are not even meeting the requirements for. He was falling behind in terms of the numbers, but he had the nerve to low key, in fact, to high key, blame his results on transformation, and that for me is a red flag for a coach, a South African coach who is supposed to understand what transformation means to the country, for him to try and demonize it. But we are not going to dwell much on that. Let's talk semi-final. We get to the semi-final. New Zealand bat first. Flat deck. We bat second. Okay, our bowlers struggle. They get torn apart. It's not the first time they get torn apart by New Zealand in a couple of weeks. We bat second. At some point, we are on par with New Zealand, and we lose our way. We lose the game. David Miller gets himself a beautiful 100 to most people. He celebrates that beautiful 100 in a losing cause. I don't know if you want to go first, coach, or should I go first?
I feel like you whatever I say after what you're gonna say, because I think yours might have a lot of emotion behind it right now. I feel like that semi-final was as underwhelming as we can be. I do not I do not understand how we can be so average. It felt like we were just a term that's used, especially in football, honoring the fixture. We just went there. The bowling, Lungi, I know we're big advocates for Lungi. Lungi started off pretty well, and before that mess that happened at the end, he was going very well. Uh, Not to single out a moment, but in that bowling, there was a moment when Glenn Phillips got dropped at square leg, a dolly, which should have been taken at deep square leg. Once that happened, just kept on leaking runs, everything just kept on going to the boundary. Whoever we brought on kept on traveling. So that I feel like that catch gets taken, we scrape off of at least like 30 of that total. But again, I don't think we deserved it with that bowling performance we had. So taking it from there, going into the batting, uh, we always nobody looked like they were struggling. We looked like we were on par, as you said. We were floating along. Aiden chucked it back to the bowler. Clausen hit a long hop down long on his throat. The Proteas way of finding a way to lose it again. So Miller coming in at 6 and making it seem like he was scoring he scored a good 100. That was very frustrating for me. Honestly, didn't watch most of it. I switched off when Aiden got out, not because it was Aiden this time, but because I felt that was it. Miller was not going to win it one man down there. I That's one thing you had said with maybe the only selection we had even mentioned before the tournament was I felt we could have squeezed in Leber, George Linder, not Leber, George Linder down there in place of maybe Van Mulder. And I think it would have been in the bowling, it would have made a big difference. In the batting as
Yeah.
well, it would have made a huge difference. So I feel that was as underwhelming. I've used this word so many times because of how underwhelming that whole tournament was, and especially that semi-final for the Proteas.
Yeah, no, spot on, coach. It was, I don't know how to explain it. I really don't know how to explain it. I think with the ball, I agree. We needed Linda. Should have been in the squad ahead of Uvier Mulder. Should have been in the squad ahead of Vier Mulder. Okay, Linda was not in the side. Could have gambled with Ushamsi. I mean, it's New Zealand. Back Shamo. Flat deck. We needed an extra spinner. I think they bowled more than 30 overs of spin. I think they used 4 or 5 spinners in their side. I just feel like we need to catch up. We we need to catch up with modern cricket. It's not just about pace. It's not just about bowling 140 clicks in white ball cricket. I think I mentioned this earlier. We are failing to catch up with modern cricket. You can't just have Ukesh at 8 or 9 as the spinner, and you've got Aiden Makram, who is not a specialist spinner. He, on a good day, is going to give you 5, 6 overs. On a bad day, he's going to struggle to give you 4 overs. So he's just one of those spinners who needs to be your third option spinner. So we need to get to a point where we are comfortable playing 2 spinners in the side. So how do we get to that point? By bringing in a spinner who can bat in George Linder. To At this point, we can even bring in a Devil Brevis. He bowls a lot for the Titans. So hopefully he can keep improving his bowling to a point where he can be a genuine bowling option. But I'm not going to drag this. David Miller's 100, I think it would have made a difference if he was coming in at 4 on that day. I want him to bat 4 every day, but on that specific day, that innings that he played, if he was playing it at 4, it says to you, you've got Aiden Makram coming in after Miller gets 100. You've got Heinrich Klaassen coming in after Miller gets 100. With David Miller coming in at 4 and scoring that 100, you've got Aiden coming in, you've got Heinrich Klaassen, you even have Vian Mulder. Almost half the job would have been done by your most experienced batter. I don't know why we prefer him coming in lower down the order. For me, it has never made sense. Even though in the past it has worked, it's something that I've never agreed with. When AB de Villiers decided to call it time, I would have told Miller, my brah, now's your time to bat 4, or I don't have a spot for you in the team. But we keep saying the others are not finishers. Heinrich Klaassen is not a finisher. So and so is not a finisher. If Heinrich Klaassen comes in, David Miller, they come in, Aiden Makram, they come in with less than 80 needed of 20 overs. They will do it. Or even in the last 10 overs, I know they're capable of that, whether they're a finisher or they're not a finisher. You still have Marco Janssen at 11, at not at 11, at 8. So I don't see why David Miller is still batting that low. In my opinion, he's going to continue scoring runs in knockout matches, but his runs will not make a difference in the context of the match because he's scoring those runs when it doesn't matter. But if he's coming in at 4, he's changing the game for the side. He's changing the game for the team. He's putting us in a winning position. Then I can celebrate that 100 and say, no, he came in at 4. He scored a match-winning 100, but the other guys coming after him lost us the match. So for me, David Miller needs to bat 4. Even at the next World Cup, if he's going to be there, he needs to bat 4. Then his 50s and knockout matches and his 100s, then they will make sense for me. And I was, just to finish up, I was sad that he actually celebrated that 100. I even had a conversation with some people, but they're like, no, it's about his baby. Or I'm like, I've seen people just look at the crowd after scoring 100 and continue with their job because they understand the context of the match. But I'm not saying we lost because of him, but yeah, no, I would have preferred it differently.
I think on this one, we've had this one, and I've been on both sides of the fence. There was a T20 tournament we played, which was full of spinners, and I was happy with that one where David Miller would come in at 6 and bash the seamers in the last 5 overs. That I was fine with. But I do agree with you in ODI cricket that most of the time he should be batting in that top 4 at number 4. I do slightly disagree with you on something, but I think you were just speaking on the team that we had. I don't think he should bat ahead of Aiden Makram. I just think Aiden should bat at 3. Then we can have your Klaassen at 5. And then guess what? We've got space for Stubbs at 6. Then that team, again, I do not know who you're taking out in that top 3, but I feel if those people move up one like that, and Klaassen has proved himself to be the quickest starter in the team, even quicker than Stubbs. I feel Klaassen's the best starter in the team. He will score you. He's more likely to score you that 30 of 9 rather than Aiden doing that. Aiden is not going to do that. David Miller himself is not going to do that as much. So I do not understand why Klaassen is the one who gets pushed up and Miller gets dropped further down. I know Klaassen's probably our best white ball batter at the moment, but I feel he's also
I'm saying Klaassen is probably our best unless it's a semi-final.
Yeah, unless he gets a long hop and he hits it straight down long on. But I still feel like Klaassen coming in after Miller makes sense. So going forward, we need to get Stubbs in this team. I know he was out of form a bit in white ball in recent cricket, but I do think his talent and what he's already done for the Proteas warrants him getting a shot in that lineup. So I'm with you. If David Miller is going to the World Cup here in South Africa, is it 2027 now?
27, yeah.
Yeah, so it's in 2 years. He needs to decide whether he's staying, and if he is staying on for that World Cup, we need him at four. We really do need him at four. I'm one. We can't uh, drop some of the people there at the top, but I think Aiden needs to bat at three, and then we have space for Clausen at five and Stubbs at six for now, because I also think after a while Stubbs is going to need to go up. But at the moment, I feel the space for him is at number six, where Miller shouldn't be, because he should be at four.
Yeah. Coachy, we're gonna close it, but I want to close it with a very unpopular opinion. I'm a massive Riggs fan. I have been pushing for Riggs to be in the side, but I worry that Riggs might not be aggressive enough at the top to open with Temba Bavuma. So we either do away with the captain or we do away with Riggs. I'm not gonna say which one I would choose, but I'm just throwing it out there. I think Utemba Bavuma was playing his best cricket in ODIs when he was opening with a Quinton. And I think the difference between Queenie and the other guys that he opened against is Queenie took all the pressure off Utemba. Temba wasn't scoring slow, but also he didn't have to try and score at a rate that is the same as Queenie. But now opening with guys like Riggs and Tony requires Temba now to try and score a bit quicker. So Riggs is quality. I rate Riggs. I'm a massive fan. I know it would be a difficult decision to make. Like I say, it's an unpopular opinion. But I think if Temba is going to open, then we need someone who is as aggressive as Queenie. He might not be as good as Queenie, but we need someone who is as aggressive as Queenie. Then we will see the best of Temba. I don't know, maybe they need to bat together more. Maybe I'm being harsh, but I think one of them might have to not necessarily be out of the side, but one of them might have to carry drinks, and then we see who can complement the other one. Because at the moment, I feel like it's not looking good in terms of maximizing on that power play. Because Riggs also does take sometimes it takes some time to get going. So I don't know what you think about that, Coachy. But like I said, it's an unpopular opinion, so I would understand if you don't agree.
I think I want to slightly disagree, as you say, but I also understand the where you're coming from, and I think it might just be a matter of time because we fought for the very aggressive Rickleton to get into that lineup, and the very aggressive Rickleton didn't work for international cricket or wasn't working for him. So now I feel he's trying to find the gear, which means he's scoring runs. But yes, he's doing it a little slower because he's trying to figure out a way that works for him right now. So, and another thing is, who is this Quinton attacking option? Because I feel the guy who springs to mind very quickly for me is Matthew. And I sometimes feel with Matthew is he looks very aggressive, but scores at 100, which sometimes is very deceiving to the viewer because he will score, he'll play the beautiful shots and score very quickly, but it's just how we view the shots he plays. He dots it up in between and ends up going at 100, 110, like that 150 he scored in one of the tri series games. It wasn't as quick as you'd want a 150 to be. I know it's harsh, especially for someone who hasn't played a lot of international cricket, but that's the standards. And if you're scoring 150, you want it to be a little bit quicker than it was there. So I feel I get where you're coming from, but I feel we stuck with Rickleton and Timber for now because of that. Maybe that's another reason why I'm looking at that number 3 and thinking Aiden could be the guy who supports whoever is there after one of them leaves, because we can't have Timber batting slowly with Ryan Rickleton, and then Ryan Rickleton gets out and Timber bats slowly with Rassi. So I feel like we need to get someone up there earlier than we have right now to get it moving.
My way. Nah, fair enough, coach. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna leave it there. Like I said, unpopular opinion. I'm sure a lot of people are gonna disagree, but it's just one of those things, and I get all your points, and I really agree. We are missing Queenie. I did say this, that we were gonna miss him, but it's such as it comes with a sport. People come and go. We had AB coming and going. We had Hashim Amla coming and going. We had JP. We had Graham Smith. The list is as long as my arm. So I'm sure Riggs is going to find his feet, and eventually we're going to see the best of him. And I can't wait to see that happen. Otherwise, Coachy, thank you for the chat. Really enjoyed it under the conditions that we were in today, with the network being an issue. But I do hope that whoever's going to be watching is going to enjoy it as much as we have enjoyed it. Yeah, thank you, everyone. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Do you want to close it up for us, Coachy?
I just Protea fans, I think we all need to know that we underappreciated the names you just rolled out of your tongue there. That team of Graham Smith, Jacques Callis, Hashim Amla, AB de Villiers, JP Dumini, Fab Duplessis, I feel was underappreciated. And some people now
Yeah.
are seeing the value we had at that time.
You know what they say, you only learn to appreciate something when you no longer have it, sadly.
Yeah.
Uh, there's an English saying that says a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. With that, we're
Yeah.
gonna close it. We'll see you on our next episode, and yeah, hopefully we can gain a bit of momentum without any network coaching going into the next couple of months. I know we are heading
Yeah, we need to.
champion away.
Cheers.
Cheers.